It was Halloween night, cold and windy, the kind where leaves scuttle across the pavement like whispers. Jamie lived alone in a small suburban house at the end of a street that had gone quiet over the years. Kids grown, families moved, windows dark. But she still bought candy every year. She liked the tradition, the laughter, the masks. Only this year, nobody had come, not one knock. The clock read 10:47 p.m. when she heard it, a single knock at the door. Slow, deliberate. She smiled, almost relieved. Finally, she muttered, grabbing the candy bowl and heading for the door. Through the peephole, she saw a child in a mask, old-fashioned, porcelain white, with hollow eyes and a faint crack down the cheek. The kid was small, maybe 8 or 9, standing perfectly still beneath the porch light. Jamie opened the door just enough to speak. "Hey there, you're my last trick-or-treater tonight." The child didn't answer, didn't move. "You're kind of late, sweetheart. Where are your parents?" The little head tilted, slow, unblinking. Something about the silence prickled her skin. The mask's painted mouth curved faintly upward, but the crack across it made it look like it was smiling wrong. "Okay, creepy much?" Jamie tried to laugh it off. She dropped a few candies into the bucket. They rattled against the plastic. The kid whispered something she almost didn't hear. "That's not enough." Jamie blinked. "Excuse me." The child lifted the mask just a little, not enough to see the face, and whispered again, voice higher, sharper. "You didn't give me enough." Jamie's throat tightened. "All right, that's enough Halloween for tonight. You should go home." She started to close the door. The hand shot out, small, gloved, and stopped it cold. Jamie gasped. "Hey, stop it or I'll—" The child pushed harder, much harder than any child should. The door flew open, hitting the wall. The candy bowl spilled, scattering chocolate across the floor. Jamie stumbled back. "What the hell is wrong with you?" The masked figure stepped inside, and behind it came 2 more, all silent, all wearing the same cracked porcelain mask. Jamie's mind raced. Prank, break-in, something. Her phone was on the kitchen counter, too far. "Get out of my house," she screamed, backing away. The first one tilted its head again, voice muffled by the mask. "Trick or treat." Jamie grabbed a knife from the counter. Her hands shook. "You come any closer and—" The porch light flickered. When it came back on, they were gone. Just gone. She stood frozen, the knife raised, chest heaving. Her reflection glimmered faintly in the window, wide-eyed, pale. Then, from the hallway behind her, a voice, small, right by her ear. "You forgot to give us the trick." The lights went out. There was a scream, sharp, sudden, and cut short. The next morning, police found the front door wide open. Candy scattered across the porch, the bowl overturned, and on the floor inside, 3 porcelain masks, cracked and empty, arranged neatly in a triangle. No sign of Jamie. Only a faint handprint on the inside of the door. Child-sized, pressed in something dark that wasn't quite blood and not quite paint. Every Halloween, Nora put a single pumpkin on her porch. No flashy decorations, no fake cobwebs or strobe lights. Just one carved pumpkin with a candle inside, its grin soft and flickering in the dark. She wasn't much for holidays anymore. Since her husband died last year, the house felt too empty for celebration. Still, she liked watching the neighborhood kids go by, the laughter, the costumes, the small pulse of life outside her silent windows. By 9:30 p.m., the crowds had thinned. The night had settled into that still late-hour quiet. And that's when she noticed him, A man standing across the street, right beneath the old street light. At first, she didn't think much of it. Maybe a parent waiting for their kid. But he didn't move, didn't shift his weight, didn't check his phone or look around. He just stood there. The light above him flickered now and then, turning his outline into a kind of stop-motion silhouette. Tall, thin, maybe wearing a coat or a costume. She couldn't quite tell from her window. She told herself it was nothing. Maybe a neighbor, maybe someone waiting for a ride. But every time she glanced back, he was still there, just standing, facing her house. By 10, the kids were gone. The street was empty except for him. She turned off the porch light. When she looked again, he'd moved closer. Now he was at the edge of her yard, still beneath the halo of the next street light, face lost in shadow. Nora felt a chill creep down her spine. She shut the curtains, locked the door, and waited. Minutes passed. The house made its old, familiar noises. The hum of the refrigerator, the groan of wood contracting in the cold. But she couldn't shake the sense of watching eyes pressing against the window. Finally, she peeked through the curtain again. He was standing on the sidewalk in front of her house, not moving, not looking away. The pumpkin's faint orange glow made the street around him quiver. It was too dark to see his face, but she could make out a small shape in his hand, something that caught the candlelight. A mask. Her throat went dry. A prank, she thought. Some kid being cruel. She grabbed her phone. The signal was weak, it always was, but she called 911 anyway. The operator's voice crackled. 911, what's your emergency? There's a man outside my house, Nora whispered. He's just standing there, staring. I think he's wearing a mask. Ma'am, can you describe him? She turned back toward the window. He was gone. Her heart jumped. He was just there. Is your door locked? Yes. Stay inside. I'm sending a unit to... A sound cut her off. A knock. Not on the front door. From the back of the house. 3 slow, deliberate knocks. Her voice broke. He's at the back door. The operator's tone sharpened. Do not engage. Go to a room you can lock. The power went out. The call dropped. Darkness swallowed the house. The only light came from the dying flicker of the jack-o'-lantern on the porch, glowing through the curtains. She crept toward her bedroom, every step trembling through the boards. She locked the door and listened, heart hammering so hard it drowned the silence. Minutes dragged. Nothing. Then, soft as breath from the other side of the wall, a whisper. You forgot to blow out your candle. Her blood froze. She turned ever so slowly toward the window and saw him, standing just outside, inches away, the mask gleaming in the faint orange light. He wasn't wearing it anymore. He was holding it, pressed against the glass. His face was pale, expressionless, and his eyes, flat, distant, never blinked as his lips curled into something between a smile and a snarl. He lifted one finger to his mouth. Shh. The pumpkin went out. The house plunged into total black. When the police arrived 20 minutes later, they found the front door ajar, a phone on the floor, and a single trail of footprints leading from the back door to the bedroom window, then stopping halfway across the yard as if the man had simply vanished. Nora was gone. But on the porch, the pumpkin had been relit and carved with a new face. Not a grin this time, a scream.